This presentation is to provide information on the Public and Indian Housing Lead-Based Paint Capital Fund Program. In this presentation, we'll show you where to apply on grants.gov. We'll show you where to learn more about the program on HUD.gov, and we'll go over some common questions about the program. Here we have some general information about the program. This information can be found by visiting HUD.gov, which we'll show you in a moment. The opening date for the program is January 16th, 2018, and the deadline is March 20th, 2018. One common question regarding the application is, where can I find the Program Notice of Funding Availability, NOFA? The Public and Indian Housing Lead-Based Paint Capital Fund Program can be found at the following link. Let's go to HUD.gov and find the link. Here we are at HUD.gov. To get to the Capital Fund Lead-Based Paint funding opportunity, first we're going to hover over Program Offices, then click on Public and Indian Housing. Then we're going to hover over PIH One-Stop Tool and click on the A to Z index. We'll click on the letter C, then we'll click Capital Fund Programs. Under Highlights, you can see New Funding Opportunity. Public housing authorities may apply for funding through the Lead-Based Paint Capital Fund Program Notice of Funding Availability. The purpose of Lead-Based Paint Capital Fund Program is to help PHAs identify and eliminate lead-based paint hazards in public housing in accordance with Section 9 of the United States Housing Act of 1937 and the Consolidated Appropriations Act 2017. $25 million shall be available for competitive grants to public housing agencies to evaluate and reduce lead-based paint hazards in public housing by carrying out the activities of risk assessment, abatement, and interim controls, as those terms are defined in Section 1004 of the Residential Lead-Based Paint Hazard Reduction Act of 1992. A link to the NOFA can be found under What's Hot on this side of the page. The deadline for applications is March 20th, 2018. Let's scroll down to What's Hot. Under the What's Hot section, you can see a link to the Public and Indian Housing Lead-Based Paint Capital Fund Program NOFA. So let's click on it. When we click on the link, it takes us to more general information about the program, and also this link to Program NOFA. So let's click on that. This gives us a PDF of the NOFA, which you can read, print, and download. The NOFA covers a description of the funding opportunity, award information, eligibility information, the application submission information, application review information, award administration information, agency contacts, other information, and an appendix. When reviewing the NOFA, you'll notice that you must download both the application instruction and the application package from grants.gov. So let's go to grants.gov and look at the application. Once at grants.gov, we're going to type in the abbreviation for the program, Lbpcf. It searches for the program, and it comes up. So we'll click on the link. Here you have some general information about the funding opportunity. In the package, you'll have the opportunity to preview or to apply. When you click preview, you get a link to each of the forms. You have the mandatory forms and the optional forms. When you click the link to each additional form, that form will show up in a new tab. Here we have the SF-424. Here we have the Applicant Recipient Disclosure Update Report. When you click Apply, it'll prompt you to log in. It also prompts you to please review application FAQs as you prepare and submit your application. Here are the FAQs, which are helpful when you submit your application. Click Login to apply. This is where you would log in. If you don't have a login and a password, you must register. So let's get back to the common questions. Regarding the application, how do I apply? The Public and Indian Housing Lead-Based Paint Capital Fund Program application can be found at the following website. Application instructions and application packages must be downloaded from grants.gov and submitted electronically through grants.gov. HUD cannot email applications. Submissions are due by 11:59 p.m. on March 20th, 2018. Please note, awards under this NOFA are funded with fiscal year 2017 appropriations. Are there any examples of previously funded applications that can be made available to new applicants? This is a newly funded program. There are no previously awarded applications to post. Regarding eligibility, can a PHA that only administers Section 8 Housing Choice Vouchers, project-based rental assistance, or project-based vouchers apply for funds under this NOFA? No. The funds under this NOFA are designated for identifying and eliminating lead-based paint hazards in public housing, Section 9 of the United States Housing Act of 1937 only. Can individuals, nonprofits, resident associations, tribes, or tribally designated housing entities apply for this grant? No. Only PHAs may apply. How many applications can a PHA submit? 1. A PHA may submit only one application, but the request may be for more than one project. Under criteria, how will HUD confirm that properties are occupied by at least one family member with a child under the age of 6? HUD will extract data from Form HUD 50058 Family Report submitted by the PHA and IMS PIC to determine that each property has at least one family with a child under age 6 at the time of application. It is not required that there be a child under 6 in every unit. HUD will award points under Rating Factor 1 based on the portion or percentage of children in the properties as of the application due date. If this is a single-family unit grouped with others in the application, HUD will calculate a weighted average for all properties proposed for the lead hazard control work. Can applications be submitted for properties with senior residents who are regularly visited by grandchildren under the age of 6? No. Children must be included on the Form HUD 50058 Family Report to be counted as eligible. Here's some additional questions. Can a PHA submit an application that includes inspections that have already started? Yes, a PHA can apply for funds under this program for work that has already started, but there is no guarantee of award, as the program is competitive and HUD cannot guarantee when the funds will be available in locks. Will the application require an additional narrative to the Form HUD 50075.1 Annual Statement, Performance and Evaluation Report? No. Applicants may not supplement Form HUD 50075.1 with additional narrative and shall limit responses to the character and spacing limits imposed by the electronic version of the form. Can funds be used for work at multiple properties? Yes. Funds can be used for work at multiple properties. Each property should be identified in Part 2 of Form HUD 50075.1. All properties must meet eligibility requirements in accordance with the NOFA. Does Form HUD 2880 Applicant Recipient Disclosure Update Report need to identify all projects where grant funds will be used? No. Part 2 of Form HUD 50075.1 includes separate columns that will capture each project name and work to be formed at each project. Does the application require a scope of work evaluation? No. Applicants do not need to submit a lead-based paint evaluation or hazard abatement scope of work as part of the application. Does the risk assessor need to be EPA certified? The answer varies by state. All persons performing lead-based paint evaluations or hazard control must be currently certified for the work they do in the state where the work will be performed. Most states have an EPA-authorized lead-based paint activities certification program covering individuals conducting lead-based paint activities. Typically, lead-based paint inspection, lead risk assessment, lead abatement worker, and lead abatement supervisor. Most states also require the firms that employ or hire the certified individuals that conduct the lead-based paint activity to be certified. In the remaining states, certification is obtained from the EPA Regional Office's lead program. For more information, see epa.gov/lead. Do risk assessments need to be conducted by a third party? No. The NOFA only requires that clearance examinations be conducted by a third-party organization. Lead evaluations and clearance examinations must be performed by persons or entities independent of the lead hazard control firm, unless the PHA uses in-house employees certified as lead inspectors and then uses certified risk assessors to conduct the evaluations or clearance. What are the minimum and maximum grant award amounts and permitted periods of performance? The minimum award amount is $25,000 per project period. The maximum award amount is $1 million per project period. PHAs are not required to leverage or match these grant funds and may use funds from other sources, e.g. capital funds, even if the total project cost exceeds the maximum grant amount of $1 million. For properties built before 1960, PHAs can include the cost of testing and abatement. PHAs may use the standard estimate of approximately $10,000 per unit in multifamily properties and $15,000 for single-family properties. Please refer to the guidelines for the evaluation and control of lead-based paint hazards in housing and the economic analysis of the proposed rule on lead-based paint for additional guidance on cost estimates. Additionally, eliminating lead-based paint hazards is an eligible capital fund expense. As with any capital funds, a PHA must obligate 90% of its lead-based paint grant awards within 24 months of the grant award and expend the funds within 48 months of the grant award, unless HUD grants an obligation extension. Is a PHA eligible to receive a grant award if it has issued a commitment to enter into a Housing Assistance Payment, CHAP, since the time of submission? No. Funds cannot be used for projects with active CHAPs. If an applicant is awarded grant funds and also has an active CHAP, the applicant will be required to withdraw the CHAP or refuse the grant award. Can lead-based paint capital fund program awards be used to cover relocation costs? Yes. Can lead-based paint capital fund program awards be used to purchase equipment? Yes. Grant funds can be used to purchase equipment such as an XRF machine, but cannot be used for additional ongoing costs such as user training, periodic state or EPA certifications, or registration of the nuclear source, if applicable. Those additional ongoing expenses must be paid for with operating subsidy or another source. Questions? HUD staff will be available to provide clarification on the content of this NOFA. Please note that HUD staff cannot assist applicants in preparing their applications. Questions regarding specific program requirements for this NOFA should be directed to the point of contact listed below. Office of Capital Improvements, PIHOCI@HUD.gov. Persons with hearing or speech impairments may access this number via TTY by calling the toll-free Federal Relay Service at 800-877-8339.